r/nosleep. Posted BYU Mandahrk. War is hell. And no one knows that fact better than hell's denizens. Series.
Damascus International Airport hadn't changed much since the last time I had been here. Granted, I could no longer hear the thundering explosions that rumbled across the sky, rattling the very roots of the building, or the echoing gunshots that sounded way too close for comfort. But everything else was still the same, almost disconcertingly so, from the fearful expressions that would occasionally slip out and spread across the faces of the sparse crowd of mostly domestic travelers, to the sandbag fortifications in every nook and cranny of the place, manned by regime soldiers with permanent scowls marring their careworn foreheads, and the plush sofas of the lounge that looked like they hadn't aged a day in the last 8 years. Hell, I even recognized one of the guys manning the check-in counters. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Indeed. A stabbing pain emanating from my knees crackled up my synapses as I walked towards the exit, a throbbing reminder of why I so detested this place. Gritting my teeth to block out the pain, I passed through the automatic sliding glass doors, pulling my suitcase across the tiled floor, making its old wheels groan and squeal in protest and eliciting annoyed looks from those around me. A pleasantly cool breeze welcomed me outside, and I felt the warm rays of the late morning sun wash over my skin. It certainly would have been a beautiful day, if it hadn't been for the man waiting for me on the steps near the doors with a shit-eating grin on his face. Murtaza. He took his hands out of his pockets and pulled me in for a bone-crushing hug, before pulling back and letting his bemused emerald eyes scan my face. Damn. You got old. I groaned. Yes, Liam. That's what 8 excruciatingly long years do to people. Not to him, apparently. He looked every bit as handsome as he did the last time I had seen him, with not even a single strand of his short wavy blonde hair out of place, quiet unlike my own follicularly challenged self. Touché. Growing old's a bitch, isn't it? He asked wistfully. I didn't bother to reply. We made small talk, catching up on what the two of us had been up to in the past decade as we strolled over to where he had parked his car, dancing around the topic we really needed to have a discussion on, with the two of us being far too professional to do that where someone could easily eavesdrop. As we cleared the many checkpoints surrounding the airport and went deep into the city, we settled into a companionable silence as the emaciated Barada River pathetically burbled along next to us. I rested my head on the cool window of the car and gazed at the nauseatingly familiar skyline of the city. All this sight was missing was plumes of thick, black smoke rising upwards in the distant horizon, and it would have felt like I had traveled back in time. Our journey eventually ended at a deceptively abandoned-looking dilapidated school building situated in the outskirts of the city. As we drove through the rusted iron gates, kicking up dust in the process, I could feel eyes on me. My suspicions were confirmed when I spotted snipers on the roof. You want to tell me what the fuck the US military is doing this deep in regime territory? I asked Liam, who was looking at me in the rearview mirror. Well, it's all about why you're here. No, why we're here. So, why exactly are we here? I asked. He sighed, taking one hand off the wheel and rubbing his eyes. It's bad, Murtaza. Really bad. As bad as the last time? He snorted. Worse, much worse. Last time was nothing compared to this. This thing's got everybody spooked. I've been getting calls from people I should never be getting calls from. I hauled ass and arrived here as soon as I could. What in the fuck happened? A couple of weeks ago, the US military carried out a raid against a high-ranking Tahrir al-Sham commander in the north. It didn't work out quite like they thought it would. In fact, it was a damn mess. Everybody died. I raised my eyebrow. And I'm guessing it wasn't just an ambush by the terrorists. He shook his head. No, it certainly wasn't. We wouldn't be here if it was, now would we? No. They got it all on camera, man. Shit's really fucked. Never seen anything like it in my life. That was quite a statement, considering the kind of shit we come across in our line of work. We piled out of the car and walked into the school, which served as a makeshift military base, populated by what seemed to be essential personnel only, to keep it all under wraps, I presume. Liam introduced us to the officer in command, and together we strode into what used to be the staff room of the school, now with monitors lining the walls from the floor to the ceiling. The officer gave us files containing a radio transcript of the operation and instructed one of his men to fire up some of the monitors and show us the video. We began with the strike team sliding down the ropes of the helicopter, which sent sand spiraling up into the air with its powerful rotating blades. Judging by the grayish hue of the video, I deduced it was a nighttime operation, and we were looking through cameras mounted on the helmets of the soldiers. The radio crackled and they began communicating, and I had to look at the file once again to check the call signs. Ha, Hotel Actual. The strike team. H-21, Sniper Spotter Team. DP, Dog Pound. Transport Helicopter. C, Command. Ha, Command, Hotel Actual. Come in, over. The soldiers had descended and were spread out into a loose circle. They were in a rural area, and I could barely make out some old and beaten down structures in the background. The guy whose camera we were following must have been the team leader, since he was the one communicating, with his thumb on the radio on his shoulder. We heard the disembodied voice blaring from the radio as Command replied. C, Hotel Actual, Command. Receiving, over. Ha, we're coming up on the compound now. We'll locate and neutralize the target while Hotel 2-1 provides overwatch. How copy, over. Two of the soldiers broke away from the group and disappeared into the darkness. C, affirmative. Make sure you get a bit on the target before you engage. We're trying to avoid civilian casualties here. Ha, roger that. Over and out. With their weapons drawn, the team moved as a unit towards its target, which became clearer the closer they got to it. It was a two-storied building with paint peeling off the walls, some of which were crumbling so badly that I could make out the house's brick and cement skeletal structure underneath. The team assembled behind the boundary wall, and I saw one of the soldiers' eyes glow under the glare from the camera as the team leader looked at him. The radio sputtered again. H-21, Hotel Actual, Hotel 2-1. We are in position overlooking the compound, over. Ha, Hotel 2-1, Hotel Actual, copy. Maintain eyes on target, and identify and neutralize any hostiles. Be advised, civilians are still in the area, so get up it before engaging, over. H-21, roger, Hotel Actual. Over and out. The team leader craned his neck and the helicopter appeared as a small figure in the screen, hovering in the gray sky some distance away from the strike team. Looks like Dog Pound's covering our asses. Alright boys, let's get this shit done and go back to our warm-ass beds. He barked some orders and the soldiers began storming the house. They swung the gate open, and entered the yard, fanning out to cover all possible entrances. The team leader had reached the front door when his radio interrupted him once again. DP, Hotel Actual. I'm seeing movement to your southwest, over. Ha, what was that, Dog Pound? Are we cleared to advance? DP, negative. Hold position. Over. DP, Hotel 2-1. Do you have eyes on? H-21, affirmative. Hotel Actual, you have an unidentified individual about 100 meters to the southwest, unarmed. Proceed with caution. Take us to the sniper team, please. Liam requested the man working on the computer who changed the view on the screen with a couple of rapid clicks. The scene shifted, and we were now on top of the roof of a nearby building, looking down at Hotel Actual from the back. There. Liam said, pointing at the right bottom corner of the screen. Do you see it? I nodded. I could faintly make out an unusually tall figure stalking the strike team. The sniper repositioned his gun, and the figure became slightly clearer, but not much. All right. Liam continued, take us back. We came back to the team leader of Hotel Actual who quickly gave orders to his men using some hand signals and retraced his steps to investigate. Ha, roger, Hotel 2-1. We see him. Hold. The team leader shouted. U.S. forces. Put your hands up. The figure disregarded the command and continued to move closer. Stop. Turn around and walk away. Or we will fire on you. The figure moved in a little closer, and my heart jumped out of my mouth as I saw him for the first time. He was tall, much taller than what I had assumed him to be, clad in some black robe, probably a kaftan or a thob, with a keffiyeh tied up like a turban on his head. His lips were stretched into an unnaturally wide and still smile, as if that expression was forever frozen on his face, an expression that oozed maliciousness. His skin was so pale that light seemed to bounce off him, like some fucked up miniature moon. But the most disturbing thing about him were his eyes, two giant glowing orbs that burnt like the sun. What the fuck? The team leader swore, and he was joined by the other soldiers. Do you see his eyes, Sergeant? What the fuck is that? I couldn't help but shiver at the sheer evil emanating from this thing. The team leader was faster at getting over the shock of it all than I was. Ha, command, be advised. There is a civilian near our position. See, Hotel Actual, are you positive he's not armed? Before the team leader could reply, the man with the glowing eyes just disappeared with a loud pop, and the screen shook wildly as the soldiers began to panic. What the fuck? Where did he go? An anguish-filled scream ripped through the soldiers, making the team leader swing his head in the direction of the sound. "See, Hotel Actual, come in." When the camera stabilized, we saw that the man with the glowing eyes had stabbed one of the soldiers through the chest with his bare hand and was now dangling the poor bastard in the air like a rag doll. He pulled his hand free, and turned his head sharply to look at the team leader, his smile somehow stretching even wider. Shoot it!" the sergeant shouted, pulling his gun up, but his finger froze with fear when the man opened his mouth, his jaw dropping low enough to touch his chest, and screeched, with the sound so low and animalistic it made those of us watching the video wince. Muzzle flashes lit up the screen as the soldiers fired at the man, but he disappeared almost instantly, causing the bullets to sail through the air harmlessly. DP, Command, this dog pound 2-5, we're observing small arms fire going off in Hotel Actual's position. I repeat, shots fired. C, how many combatants are engaging them, dog pound? DP, do you copy that, Hotel 2-1? Can you identify the number of combatants engaging Hotel Actual, over? H21, dog pound. It's a blur. I can't see what's going on. The strike team was being picked off one by one, with the attacker being too fast for the frightened soldiers to handle. That thing wasn't content with just killing them. He was taunting them, taking his time to extend their suffering, and mocking them. At one point he ripped off the arms of one of the soldiers and used them to wave at the team leader. Sickening stuff. Ha, this is Hotel Actual. Something is tearing apart our men. Fuck. Shoot IT. Requesting backup immediately. The next second, the man with the glowing eyes appeared right in front of the team leader, his face just inches from the camera. I could almost feel the rot and decay in his skin, even as the glow from his eyes consumed half the screen. Then the team leader's head jerked to the side with a horrible crunch and he fell over backwards, the camera hitting the ground lens first, taking away all visibility. Liam whispered something, and the view subsequently changed to the sniper team's position. H21, Hotel Actual, come in. Steve Rodriguez. Dog pound, Hotel Actual is in heavy combat and requires backup. Can you fly in and assist, over? DP, Roger. We're flying in now. Keep providing overwatch and look out for RPGs. H21, affirmative. But be advised, Hotel Actual's position has gone completely dark. We see no movement, whatsoever. The overwhelming sound of the helicopter took over as Dog Pound approached the scene of the carnage. Does Dog Pound not have a camera? I asked softly. It did. Liam replied solemnly.
DP, Hotel 2-1, we're coming up on Hotel Actual's position, but it's a mess down there. What in the world happened here? C, Dog Pound. Do you see any survivors? DP, negative. There seems to be no movement here. Wait. I see somebody. He's dressed in black. Is that a civvy? H21, wait. Careful, Dog Pound. That is not. DP, he's running towards us, he might be armed. Is he gonna jump? Oh Jesus Christ. We heard a bang from the helicopter as something too fast for the naked eye to catch slammed through it, and then smoke started coming out of it in pulsating waves as it began spinning out of control. DP, Mayday Mayday. This is Dog Pound 2-5, we are going down in grid 231. The helicopter slammed into the ground with a resounding crash and almost immediately burst into flames that flashed so bright in the grayish background they made me blink my eyes. C, Hotel 2-1. What's happening down there? H21 sir, it looks like something smashed into Dog Pound. C, Roger. Secure the crash site. Evac is inbound.
C, Hotel 2-1. Come in. The sniper team didn't reply, probably because they saw what we were looking at right now. The thing that had murdered the others was now stalking them. H21, Command, IT saw US. Limansky, pack your shit. We're leaving now. Tell evac to double time IT. C, slow down, son. Who saw you? H21, it's coming. Send backup now. C, evac is inbound. But I need to know your position. Hotel 2-1? While Command was speaking, that unholy shriek once again boomed in the vicinity of H21, and their camera fell over to the side, staring off into the distance uselessly. C, Hotel 2-1, respond. And with that the video finally ended. I tore my eyes off the screen and looked at Liam, my head buzzing with 1,000 different questions, so I settled for the most obvious of responses. I need a fucking drink.